Yo, what's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, and welcome back to another Geoguessr video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a 1v1 duel against a professional botanist, that is GeoNebula. Nebula, welcome back to the channel.
What's up, Oscar? It's good to be back.
So tell us a little bit about your plant expertise and what's going to happen in today's video.
Absolutely. So I'm not working as a botanist at the moment, but I have done botany work in the past, and I think it's probably best to call me a botanical enthusiast. I really love it. I spend a lot of my time outside identifying plants, and I also spend time identifying plants in Geoguessr as well. It's really fun.
Very true, man. And in today's video, we are going to be playing on vegan mode. This is a visual filter that gets rid of all the colors on the screen that aren't green. So, are you ready to jump into the first game?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Alright, I'm a deafen up. Good luck, man.
Good luck.
Okay, guys, let's get into this first duel, and you guys are going to see what vegan mode exactly looks like. And so here we are. And of course, we're playing on the United States map because that is where Nebula has expertise. So you're going to hear him explaining all his thought process. But here's the first round. We have a perfect round. It's very forested. A lot of the ground is cut out because obviously we can't see anything on the road or in the sky. So what about these trees? They kind of feel quite northern to me, I would say. This one almost looks like a maple or something. I'm not really sure where you'd find that. It feels like it's near the Canada border in the east of the country. So like Minnesota, Wisconsin, New York, Maine. One of those states. I could even see it being West Virginia though. Yeah, it's difficult for me to like have a good idea here, but I kind of want to just say like New York as a hedge. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable enough with that. I'm going to go New York here, kind of hedging for Maine and Wisconsin. We do have a lot of ferns here, which I do like. That's definitely indicative of the north of the country, so I think I do like my guess here. And I've given him 40 seconds, so he has plenty of time to make his guess.
Really lush so far. It's looking like this might be in the eastern U.S. Zoom in. We have some, is that a maple? I believe so. We have some maples. This is a great first round. And I am able to move here. I'm going to go down the road a little bit. And if I zoom in, it looks like we might have an eastern white pine right here. Which is super helpful. This is only really in the northeastern US, also around the Great Lakes. It's very common. That's a nice eastern white pine. And right here, we have another conifer. This one might be a spruce, I'm guessing. We have spruce and eastern white pine. This is looking very northern. Trying to kind of gauge the landscape here. It looks like it might be a little bit hilly as well. Very lush with lots of ferns. We have the eastern white pine. My first impression is that we're somewhere in New England, maybe in Maine or New Hampshire. I'm going to send it right around there. Okay, was indeed New Hampshire. Not a bad start.
Okay, it was New Hampshire, and there we go. Nebula with a really close guess there, but New York actually ends up being a decent guess as well, so not going to be too disappointed with that. I think we're going to make much more points on kind of those more generic middle rounds, like this one, for example. These trees here, they're looking quite Great Plains. Obviously, it's very flat too, and a lot of grass going on. Kind of reminds me of like northern Texas, Kansas, Colorado, maybe that kind of area here. I quite like that, I think. I'm going to go eastern Colorado towards Kansas. It's a north-south road, so let me do that. Near Lamar, Colorado. I'm a bit worried here. We have a lot of black specks in the road now that I look, which is like very indicative of Texas. Obviously, we're not too far from Texas, but maybe it's towards Lubbock.
This one's very different from what we just saw. We're kind of out in the open. Got some beautiful sunflowers. Very flat. A few clusters of trees around. I see a landscape like this, I instantly think Great Plains. I'm not sure exactly how far north we are yet, so I might just go somewhere kind of in the middle. I'm gonna do somewhere in central Nebraska. Oh my gosh, it was actually much further south. I'm surprised. It's New Mexico.
Okay, indeed it was towards Lubbock, but actually on the New Mexican side, we are quite a bit closer though. GeoNebula was in Nebraska, so we get back to points we lost in round number 1. Okay, round number 3 here, and we have all but nothing here. This is not a very green round in comparison to round number 1, that's for sure. We have bushes, which he'll probably be able to identify. I'm not quite sure which bushes these are, but we can see it's quite hilly here. And we don't really know if it's red soil or brown soil or what, but it is quite grassy. I'm thinking it's probably Arizona, but I could definitely see New Mexico. I could definitely see Utah. I could definitely see a whole bunch of places, guys. I think I'm going to go for northern Arizona here and just hope. Let's go Flagstaff. Ooh, now that I've looked around, we have a wooden guardrail. I can't exactly remember what that means, but I'm worried it's going to be like I think Wyoming has that sometimes, or maybe Utah or something.
Wow, we're not seeing much green at all, actually. This definitely looks like a desert. This tree right here, just judging by the leaves, and also it's kind of a dark green color. I think this might be a juniper. Yeah, I think we have some juniper here. You can kind of vaguely make out the shape of the mountains in the distance. We're somewhere out west. Take a closer look at these plants here. Oh, it's not sagebrush actually. That one almost looks like a mesquite. Yeah, I think that is mesquite right here. That's super helpful actually. Probably we're not as far north as I initially thought. I'm actually gonna go somewhere in Arizona for this one. Maybe just north there. Ooh, nice. Oscar also gets Arizona. We're actually right down there, closer to Phoenix.
Okay, let's see what kind of damage it is. I'm not confident here. But it actually was Central Arizona. Okay, that's a really good one here, just based off the bushes there, and I guess the road and the hills. But yeah, definitely happy with that. And to be closer than him on there when he had plenty of time to see the bushes, I'm happy. Okay, next one here. Vibe Southern. We got like long needle pines, so he'll probably talk about that. But they remind me of the south of the US. Thinking like South Carolina, Georgia. Something like that here, maybe. I'm pretty partial to a South Carolina here towards North Carolina, actually. It definitely feels that way to me. Moving around after my guess, I just found a Southern Reflector, which is typical of the states down at the bottom of the US. For example, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and further west as well. So feeling pretty decent here.
Okay, this one's looking a lot more lush. Oh, look at this. We have sweet gum right here. Classic southeastern tree right next to some southern pines. Could be loblolly pine. The Oscar's already sent his guess. But yeah, this could be kind of tough because the southeast can look pretty similar in a lot of different areas, but it looks flat. Lots of pines. We got magnolia. I think I might go for southern Alabama here. Let's try it. Okay, it was the Florida Panhandle. Definitely closer on that one.
And it was just Florida indeed. South Carolina was a bit of an overextension. The problem was I thought it could have been North Carolina, but yeah, Florida makes perfect sense here. Next one, more of a northern forest, again, based on the vegetation, I would say. This time kind of reminds me of the one we had up in New Hampshire. I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's the best guess. It doesn't quite give me like the Wisconsin, Minnesota vibe, which I would really need to like commit to that. So I think it's just another New York click and pray. This time I'm just going to click the same as the last time, actually. I don't really see a good reason not to. Maybe it's a bit further south. I don't know. I'll click on the border with Pennsylvania. Taking a look around. I don't know. These plants like not quite familiar to me. We don't see any pine trees, which maybe means we could be like maybe over in like Ohio, Kentucky.
Oh my gosh, we're getting some really great rounds for me, honestly. These are fantastic for plant guessing. Look at this. We have so much going on here. I think we're somewhere out east. Yeah. Oh wow, check that out. We have looks like a northern red oak right here. One of my favorite oaks in the US. Very common in the northern part of the US, around the Great Lakes and New England as well. Northern red oak, hemlock. We got some maples and stuff. This might be around the Great Lakes, but I'm actually gonna go closer to New York. Let's try that. And it's Maine. Okay, definitely makes sense. It's very lush. A nice blend of northern conifers and maples, very common in that region.
But it is actually Maine. Okay, so we got the right vibe here, but GeoNebula extends his lead, 1,000 points of damage. I guess he was just about in New York himself, but on the right side of it. Next one here. Okay. Wait, guys, I immediately got a Delaware vibe here. Is that crazy? We have thick lines, which is common for this area. It's also very flat with like tiny crops, like maybe wheat crops. I'm gonna try it here, guys. I don't know, like just something about like the road texture and the crop reminds me of Delaware. And especially with these thicker lines, I'm just worried that it could be like Illinois or Indiana, and that would just be GG. Because if it is, he'll probably know and we just lose.
Okay, it looks like we have a cornfield. Pretty tall cluster of trees back there. Oh, we got some trees right here. Oscar went ahead and sent his guess. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's some cool leaves. I think this is what they would call a double pinnate leaf. Not sure of the species, but I've seen that before. A few species that have that. There's a devil's walking stick among a few others, but you don't see it that often. We got 13 seconds here. We got to watch the clock. And we have pretty tall trees with a cornfield. Doesn't look too hilly either. I might go Indiana on this one. Ooh, oh my gosh. Great guess by Oscar. He got Delaware. Holy smokes. Is that it? Oh,
And it was indeed Delaware. That was a really good one. It's just, I think, a product of being a pretty experienced Geoguessr player there. Recognizing those landscapes and those road lines, which can be subtle differences, but in the US, you really gotta, lock in that stuff. And, well, this is an interesting round. I can see, based on this vegetation, that it's super lush. Like, look how dense the foliage is on the left here. Extremely dense, I would say. So this reminds me, at first, maybe of down here, but now more of, like, PNW. I think these might be sword ferns, which are really common in PNW and pretty much not elsewhere. And then whatever this is, like I want to say a balsam fir. I don't actually know what this is called, but I know it like definitely feels like up here. The only problem is it looks like we've got a swamp on the right, which, I wouldn't really associate this area with swamps, but I'm still going to go for it regardless. I'm going to go Western Washington here. I think that's my best guess.
Oh wow, this is a great round right here as well. Look at this. We have a looks like Western Sword Fern. That's one that me and Oscar have talked about, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna get this. But yeah, that puts us firmly in the Pacific Northwest. Characteristic of the Pacific Northwest as well, we have moss-covered branches, extremely humid, a lot of rainfall, generally cool year-round, so there's not a lot of evaporation. Look at that, we have lichens and mosses completely covering these branches here. Classic Pacific Northwest. It looks extremely humid, and I would go so far as to say we might even be on the Olympic Peninsula here. I think that's what I'll send. I put myself over here. All right, and Oscar's actually closer, not quite the Pacific, Olympic Peninsula, but
I've moved around a bit, and I'm looking at this like boggy landscape. It almost reminds me of like Maine or something up like there. So if I'm wrong, it's probably going to be really wrong. And luckily I wasn't wrong. Okay. Yeah, extremely unique landscape there, and I got really close. So he is on low health now, which is pretty good. I think he had quite a lot of information there, but I guess our guess was going to be always harder to get closer than. This is interesting. Much more generic here. We do have a lot of fern action in the bottom of the undergrowth here, because at first I thought this was going to be southern. Now I'm thinking it's actually going to be more northern. This one's almost giving me like a Michigan, Wisconsin kind of vibe. I remember Wisconsin has quite a lot of ferns, so that could definitely make sense, but at the same time, I'm almost tempted to just hedge this one up, maybe go Indiana or something. I don't think it's actually Indiana, but just to play it safe, because this one is very generic. Yeah, I'm not too sure here, guys. I think I'm tempted by a central Wisconsin, to be honest with you. I think I'm gonna go in Necheda, Wisconsin. I've come across this vegetation here. This looks super northern. It looks like Russia almost. So yeah, feeling a little better now.
Yeah, I'm hanging on for dear life. Let's see if we can bring this back. Oh, what's that? Dude, we have striped maple. No way. Man, we're getting so many cool plants on this. I can't believe it. It's crazy. That one is really only found in like the most humid parts of New England, the Appalachian Mountains, and some parts of the Great Lakes, but mostly New England. We're getting a lot of New England rounds. Holy smokes, actually I have no idea what that is, but it looks really cool. I think the striped maple right here is definitely the star of the show and is the most helpful plant for me so far. 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and make our guess. I want to go Maine probably. Yeah, I might actually go New Hampshire, Maine border. Oh man, Oscar goes to Wisconsin and it's Vermont. Let's see, is that enough? Oh my gosh, that is. Wow, that was so close, dude. Oh my goodness.
Well, it could be Maine as well. Again, everything kind of looks like Maine on this mode, apparently. And it was up near Vermont. Triple damage. That is going to be a rough chunk. Indeed, it's going to be enough to take us out. So a really close first duel there. Although I feel like I only got the vibe of that one after I moved around. I was never going to go up there, or at least it wasn't my first thought. So let's go congratulate Nebula on his first win. GG, Nebula.
GG, that was so close, man. Oh my god, I was sweating. I was sweating on that last one.
Yeah, it was a really close duel. But what were some interesting species we found there?
Oh man, on that last one, I don't know if you saw it in your frame, but there was a striped maple, which is one I think I talked to you about a long time ago, but it has like 3 pointed leaves. And that one definitely solidified the New England guess for me. If it weren't for that, that would have been a lot tougher. But dude, there were so many great plants. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a really good seed in terms of plants. I agree.
Yeah, there's a few southeastern ones. There was that desert one with the juniper and the mesquite. That was really cool. And you got that one. That was in Arizona. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We just got like the full tour.
That was yeah. We got pretty much every area. So that was really cool. I say let's do best of 3. If you win this one, you're the champion of the video, but let's get into it.
All right.
Alrighty, guys, duel number 2 here. I think we were a little unlucky on that one with the multipliers, but, you know, such as Geoguessr, man. That's what you got to deal with. Okay, here we go. We got some interesting, like, I guess mesquite or, like, whatever's going on these bushes here. Looks fairly dry climate, I would say. So somewhere out in the west. Now, are these mountains or are they just clouds? That is really a good question. It looks like it's very flat overall, so I'm going to assume they're clouds. But that doesn't really help me that much. Like, I'm considering like a Colorado, like random town out in Colorado, maybe like a Utah town, a New Mexico town. I'm not quite sure. I could just click in the middle of everything, but I feel like that's a bit cheap. It could also be Nevada, so I am actually honestly tempted to click in the middle of everything here. Okay, I think my best guess is like over here. I'm gonna go Kim, Colorado, but I'm not feeling good here, guys. I'm quite worried about Nevada, actually.
right away, it looks like we're out west somewhere. It's looking very much a desert. Look around. We have an interesting tree here with very silvery leaves. I'm wondering if this is Russian olive. That's one that's pretty common across certain parts of the US, especially like the northern western US. You get a lot of them in like Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. That's a helpful plant for sure. Not really sure what that is. There's this thing. I have no idea what that is, but that is really cool. Is that maybe a great mullein? I'm not sure. That's a non-native plant, but very widespread in the western US as well. Yeah, this is another really great example of like characteristic vegetation of a region. Because man, we have sagebrush everywhere, dude. Sagebrush, cottonwood, a few spruce here and there. We have some mountains too. This one's kind of tough. I'm gonna go maybe like southern Idaho. Let me try that. Oh wow, it's all the way at Reno. Yeah, way over there. It makes sense. A lot of sagebrush out there too.
Righty, let's see. And it was Nevada. Oh my gosh. The 50-50 is really rough because it had to be somewhere flat, but it's over near Reno there. I think I could have got that, to be honest. Unfortunate. Okay, next one here. Southern pines, loblolly pines, I would say. This looks like maybe Alabama to me. Alabama, Mississippi, that kind of area. Probably gonna go Mississippi here as a hedge. I think I quite like that.
Ooh. Check this out, man. We got long-needled pines. Be careful here. Is this a southern pine or is this a red pine? Oscar already put in his guess. These can be a little tough. I'm leaning southern pines. We actually also have Yopon holly. This kind of like really short shrub with dark green leaves kind of growing amongst the pines. It's very, very common in the southeast. I gotta put in my guess here. This could be anywhere in the southeast. I'm actually gonna go southern Alabama. Time to hedge. Let's see. Oh, okay. I was very close there. Southern Mississippi. Oscar, also in Mississippi. Not a bad guess at all.
Okay, it was Mississippi, but he gets a bit of an aiming on me, and it's closer in Alabama, so 500 points of damage there. Not the best start to this duel, but I don't know, like, I feel like it could have been so different with that first round. This looks like Texas to me. To me, this is just Texas vegetation. It looks quite like Mexico, honestly, so I'm considering, like, west of San Antonio, maybe even quite southern. Like, just whatever this, like, little, like, succulent is here, or whatever. I want to click down south here. We've got a north-south grid, which is interesting. Not so common in Texas. Here's a north-south road. I'll go there. I turned around and saw these bollards. That does not feel particularly Texan to me. Oh no, I'm quite worried now. I think it might actually be like Kansas. Yeah, I feel like the original view looks really Texan, but looking over here does not.
Okay, what to make of this one? We have a bunch of like low shrubby trees out there. They don't look too tall. But then we have a bunch of blank gray pixels right here. So probably not a whole lot of green when this was taken. Maybe that was water. Is there any chance that's like a rice field? Gotta be careful here. I got 10 seconds and I don't want to far off. This one's weird. I'm actually gonna go out west in California. Hopefully that's okay. And oh, it's Oklahoma. Oh my gosh. Oscar's way closer there. Gonna do a big chunk of damage. Yeah, honestly, that one stumped me. I kind of panicked at the end there.
Okay, let's see the damage. I don't think it's good. Oh, it was Oklahoma, so the Texas vibe was not too bad, and to be fair, he's in California, so that's still a pretty good guess, but I was kind of baited by whatever that little plant was that we could see. Oh, this is interesting. Look at these trees. He'll definitely know. I think these are ones like cedar trees, or eastern red cedars or something like that. We got a concrete road here, though. The concrete road really reminds me of like Iowa, Minnesota. And honestly, the whole round itself looks quite Minnesotan. Double signpost here is more typical of Michigan, but I think it's too hilly, so I might just go Rochester, Minnesota, or even further up, to be fair. Maybe it's Upper Peninsula. Okay, in which case I'm just gonna hedge. Probably a good thing, because if I turn around the other way, it just looks like Iowa.
That's just eastern red cedar. I think it might be. Very common roadside tree across pretty much the entire eastern US. But more common in certain areas. You see a lot of them in the Ozark Mountains. Look at that, we have maybe bur oak right there. I think I'm gonna go Wisconsin. Wisconsin or Minnesota, I could see that. Okay, we both go Wisconsin. It's actually Iowa.
Okay, it was indeed Iowa, yeah. I should have just trusted the concrete road. They really are most common in Iowa. But the trees kind of threw me a bit, and apparently him as well. Okay, now we're into the multipliers, and the HP is fairly even here. We're at still a bit of a deficit. This again looks extremely similar to the last round we had in Mississippi, Alabama. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go for that. I'm gonna go Mississippi once again.
So far, it's looking like Southern Pines. Oscar's already guessed. Interesting that a lot of pixels aren't really coming through. Yeah, I'm guessing we're somewhere in the southeast. Oh man, I'm actually not sure, dude. Oh no, it's actually East Texas. Oh man, I thought that was white pine at the very end. Great guess by Oscar there.
It was Dallas there or Tyler, Texas. And we're a lot closer. He somehow missed the vibe on the pines. I think he thought they were red pines, which look quite similar. And I was considering that, but the road texture also reminded me of the South. This one, we've got sugarcane. No, that's not sugarcane. I don't know what that is off to the left, but we also have coconut palms. Now, coconut palms will only be, I mean, does California even get coconut palms? They get some palm trees, but I think they're more like Mexican palms. And then coconut palms you'll obviously see in Florida and maybe sometimes in southern Texas. So a pretty rare tree, and to me this just looks like Florida. It's flat, it's tropical, and I don't really see a good reason not to go Florida here. Southwesterly angle on the road is really interesting because most of the major cities in Florida are at a north-south angle. So maybe we're in Daytona Beach. That's got a southwesterly angle. I feel like that's kind of my best option here. Daytona Beach. Yeah, all the other major cities do not have this angle, so or maybe Beverly Hills. I'm gonna go Beverly Hills. Yeah, let's try that.
Oh, Oscar's gonna get this. Obviously tropical. Yeah, you can actually see the coconuts in there. Now, that's either extreme southern Florida or Hawaii. I need to make sure right now, because that is a huge difference. I think this is just a very flat. This is probably just a very, very South Florida. I see a southern pine. That would really quell my anxiety. We could just see a southern pine. It's like we're in the mangroves or something. Please don't be Hawaii. I don't think it is. Kind of scary. I'm going to go all the way down here in Homestead. If it's Hawaii, he's definitely got this game. Oh man, it was extreme southern Florida. Oscar going north of Tampa. Maybe he didn't see the coconut palm.
Oh my goodness, it was literally Key West. That's why we were going southwest, and that's a big chunk of damage there. Wow, kind of unfortunate, but I guess it was super tropical, so I probably should have picked that up. First thought was like Carolinas, maybe like North Carolina. My problem with that idea is some of the trees here are not quite right feeling. Like these little random things sticking out of the ground, they kind of look more northern, they look more cold climate. And it's leaving me confused because I think this is a very difficult round. Do I want to trust that Carolinas? I don't know. No, I think whatever this tree is on the left also feels like a cold climate tree, but it's just making me more confused. Like, do I want to go up towards Michigan or what? Maybe I do, man. 2.5 times damage. We might just lose here, guys, because I'm not sure. How am I between North Carolina and Michigan? But I want to try Michigan here. I think it is actually quite northern, and I'm worried about Maine again. It's always Maine. You know what? Let's go in Canada. Let's go in Canada. Screw it. Taking a look around, this pine has really long needles. I think it actually is North Carolina. I think we got a really unlucky view here. We were looking at this, and then straight to our left is the long needle pine that we needed to see. So yeah, unless he's like kind of inaccurate here, we probably done for.
I'm actually not sure yet, but we have, looks like it might be a white oak right there. Very common tree in the eastern US. Very wide range. Do we have sweet gum as well? We do. Very common roadside tree across much of the eastern US, but especially the southeast. Very, very lush. We got some dog fennel as well. That's this one with the very fine leaves right in the middle. This could be Mississippi, Alabama. Could be North Carolina as well. Like coastal, hard to say. I might actually hedge and go like southern Georgia. Oh man, it was the Carolinas.
Oh, it was North Carolina, or not quite, just in Virginia, but he is actually quite far away in Georgia, so Canada was not the worst guess there. I wonder what his reaction to that will be, but this is one where moving around would be really helpful. The last one too. I don't know, guys. I don't know, where is this? I just want to go Detroit or something. I just have no idea. I'm gonna go Detroit. I'm not sure here though, guys. Looking around, still no idea, to be honest. Also looks generic. It's nice and flat, so that works for our Detroit idea. But I feel like this can literally be anywhere in the country. Ooh, look at these trees. That almost gives like a Pacific Northwest vibe. We might actually be up in like Seattle or something. I don't know. It could also be East Coast. I don't know. I don't think it's Detroit anymore. Anyway, so we're probably done for here as well.
They are indeed cottonwoods. Okay. But those can grow very tall, very fast. You can see that kind of Y-shaped branching pattern as well. Classic for cottonwoods. We could definitely rule out the whole western US, I'd say. This is interesting that we haven't seen any pines yet. With trees that tall, I kind of like maybe Ohio. Oh, he went Michigan. I went West Virginia by accident. I meant to go Ohio there, and it's actually New York.
I should have just gone up there because, like, it's just more likely to be up in these small states anyway. There's probably more locations there, but still. Oh well, you know, we survived, so I'm still happy about that. Next one here. This is another hard one. I mean, like, most rounds are not this hard, but I've kind of got 3 hard ones in a row, which, I mean, we've survived so far. The hard ones have been hard for him, too. Where do I think, though? Under foliage kind of does feel a bit colder, but I'm starting to trust that less. It kind of just feels like anything. We're on a north-south angle. I kind of thought it could be Carolinas again, but what about just like an Indiana hedge? Hedging has not really done us dirty yet. I kind of want to just go for an Indiana hedge here, to be honest. Yeah, I don't hate it. Definitely feels pretty northern, because I'm not really seeing that kind of southern vegetation. But it could even be Indiana, to be honest. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we in the southeast. It's kind of looking like it. Looks like elderberry right there. That's a pretty wide-ranging plant. So we have some eastern red cedar again. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. And then we got eastern white. Yes. Okay, that's super helpful. Got 2 seconds. We gotta place our guess. Oh no, it didn't go through. Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt, and I'm dead. No.
Wow, he did not guess. Oh, that is unfortunate here. So we are gonna take the win by default. It was indeed Michigan, and yeah, not a bad guess there, to be honest. So we're gonna take this to 3 games here. Let us go chat to Phil. GG, Nebula.
GG, dude. Oh my gosh, like I waited way too long for that last guess.
And where were you gonna guess?
I was actually gonna. I think I was going in far western Pennsylvania.
That is okay, but it makes the video more exciting. It does make the video more exciting, at least.
Yes, yeah, no, I'm excited. We get to do a game 3. I'm having a blast.
Game 3, and they've been pretty close so far. Yeah, it's been pretty tight.
Yes, no, and also I'm really impressed with the kind of plants we're seeing in this like random arbitrary United States match we're having. Because I was worried we just get like a ton of cornfields or like in Great Plains and that'd be it. But everything has been extremely interesting.
We haven't had a single Dakota round.
No, it's crazy. I used to get like 3 Dakota rounds.
Yeah, exactly. No Wyoming either. Not the most interesting vegetation-wise. Nebula, it's time for the deciding match. I would say good luck to you.
Good luck. Let's do it.
Interesting here. So first round in game 3, we've got southern reflectors again. So as I said, these ones are found in the south. They're also found in the western states as well, but just not away from the coast in the west. Thinking this might be just like Phoenix or something. Yeah, I think like Phoenix, maybe Albuquerque, Tucson, something like that here. I don't really know, like, can definitely be anywhere in that region. I'll just go Phoenix, though. And I know Nebula did live in Phoenix, so we could be in trouble.
Wow, okay, we're starting off with a super cool one. We have Palo Verde. Yeah, these are only native, really, to the Sonoran Desert and certain deserts in Texas and Mexico. I think they might have some in South America as well. I'm not 100% sure. Well, that's extremely helpful. That narrows things down substantially. Tells us that we're somewhere in the warm deserts of the Southwest. Honestly, Phoenix is never a bad idea for something like this, but it could also be Vegas. So I want to do a little more little scary. Could be Vegas. Let's see. It is Vegas. We both go Phoenix. Oh my goodness. I thought about changing it last second, but...
Oh, it's actually... Wait, I just saw these round things. It's actually going to be in Las Vegas. Yeah. Wow. I think I misidentified them then. These round reflectors, you see them in Hawaii, you also see them in Las Vegas for whatever reason. Pretty funny round. This is rice crops. So rice crops tend to be found on the Mississippi River, and I'm gonna go northern Arkansas with those.
Not exactly sure what they're growing. Yeah, it looks like these fields might flood, so this could be rice. I'm not 100% sure. They grow rice in South Louisiana, but also some parts of the Mississippi alluvial plain. Let's put in a guess like right here. Oh man, Oscar knew. That's right. They do grow rice in extreme southeastern Missouri.
Okay, really nice guess there. It is actually Missouri. But yeah, just using the rice there plus the angle of the road. I think down where Nebula was, there probably aren't quite as many like perfectly north-south roads, which help me get a bit closer. Okay, next one here. I think this is the red cedar again, if I remember correctly. Well, you'll hear from him anyway. I, though, thought this is Midwest, maybe? It kind of just feels like another Iowa, Wisconsin kind of round. But I'm not really sure. Like, it could also be Kansas, to be fair. So I think I'll hedge it up in Iowa here. Yeah, I think I like that.
Looks like this was taken in early spring. We got some beautiful spring green colors. This is something that you'd see a lot in like the Ozark Mountains of northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, but you also get this kind of thing in certain parts of Tennessee. Oh wow, good guess by Oscar. It's actually northern Missouri.
Wasn't really my first thought, but we both narrowly missed the state, and I am fortunately closer. I'm pretty happy with that one. That was basically purely off the vegetation and the road, so not too bad. This one's much more generic. We do have a spruce. And we have corn as well. And the road texture is very grainy actually. It reminds me of maybe like a Illinois road or maybe like an Indiana road. That being said, it is quite brown as well. which almost reminds me of further south. I would be tempted maybe by like a Texas or like a Louisiana, Mississippi, but I think the spruce would be out of place in those states, so probably just gonna opt for an Indiana here, I think. Yeah, I think Indiana's a good guess. I'm just going to go Indianapolis here.
Maybe sugar maple. We have a Colorado blue spruce. We have some very lush hills. I feel like we're probably pretty far north. Here we go. We have some Norway spruce, just tall conifers. Landscape looks relatively flat except for those hills. I'm wondering if I know some areas of Wisconsin have hills like that. Let's try that. Okay, it was actually New York, not too far from Lake Erie. Okay.
Oh, wow. That was New York. An exceptionally like grainy and poor road for New York standards. He's in Wisconsin though, so we are quite a bit closer there. The spruce, I don't know, it was like planted in the backyard, so maybe I didn't trust it as much as I should have, but it was a bit further north. Okay, this is interesting. Are we back in the rice fields or what is this crop over here? It looks like this might be rice or wheat. And then the background looks maybe almost like sugar or maybe also just rice, which is interesting. I'm not really sure here. I'm probably going to go again for that kind of Arkansas idea. Maybe this time on like the Mississippi side. Yeah, I don't know. This time we have that like more interesting angle. So I don't know. I think up towards Memphis. I think Memphis is a good hedge here.
I think we have some giant ragweed. Very common also along roadsides and open areas throughout the eastern U.S. Are we back in the Mississippi floodplain? We might be. The pecan tree looks pretty flat. We have soybeans. We got some clusters of trees. Unless this is like Delaware again. I just go somewhere in the middle. Ooh, what a great guess. Man, how did he get that? Memphis.
Oh my days, it was just outside Memphis there. That is a crazy guess, and it's good enough for 1,300 points, so we're in the lead. I'm actually really surprised how balanced this mode is, because we've been kind of neck and neck for most games. This one we're taking a lead, but last one he was taking a lead. Okay, so we can actually win this best of 3. This one is interesting. I forget what this plant is, but that's surely helpful here. This one's very generic, I gotta say. It feels colder to me, but whereabouts in the cold weather, I'm not sure. It could be Maine, it could be Michigan. I don't know, like the prevalence of bushes here wants to push me further west, but I'm not sure which it would be. Maybe Wisconsin? I think Wisconsin is a decent guess, but then I'm worried. Maybe I just go for my good old Canada hedge. I mean, it worked last time. Do I do it, guys? Is that too silly? I low-key want to go for the... I'm going for it. I'm going for the Canada hedge. Number 2. Turn me up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's staghorn sumac right there. A really common one in the northern U.S. Somewhere out east, for sure. Question is, how far north are we? A high rainfall area. Looks like it's a little hilly, too. It's a Norway spruce. Those drooping needles. Very, very characteristic. Not native to the U.S., but widely planted as an ornamental. And good evidence that we're pretty far north right here. So, kind of like Ohio on this one. Hey, it was New York. Oscar kind of hedging there, going Canada, and he is closer.
Ooh, it was New York. To be honest, that was probably my best guess in a way. Like, I probably would have gone there if I wasn't going to go Canada, but still, we'll take it. We did damage in Canada, which is kind of funny. No disrespect. I just thought it was funny. Okay, I think Iowa, we should actually trust this time with the concrete road, and he missed that last time, so I have kind of hopes that I might be closer this time. It is extremely flat for Iowa standards, and I feel like Iowa kind of gets hilly around the, what is this, the Mississippi? Yeah, I think around the Mississippi, Iowa gets pretty hilly. And is this the Missouri? Yeah, and the Missouri, I feel like that also kind of gets hilly. So I'm gonna go right in the middle.
We speed on over to this clump of trees. I think there was a bit of a season change. We have a wall of juniper. I feel like this is something you'd see in the northern or central Great Plains. And this is looking like maybe a classic Iowa. Okay, it was southern Minnesota. Me and Oscar having the same idea there. Get a little bit closer. I need to do some damage.
And oh wow, that was actually in Minnesota. Okay, well that's why it was so flat. And we do a decent amount of damage there just because we went so central, but our guesses were pretty much equivalent, I would say. Nice guess from Nebula as well. Okay, triple damage here and we can almost see nothing on this round. This round is pretty diabolical. Is it north? Is it south? I think we're gonna have to guess really quickly here. Looks like we have a longer needle pine, so I'm just tempted to go quite southern here. But like, why can't we see anything? It must be the winter time, I think, because otherwise things would be much more green. We actually might be in deep trouble here, guys. This round is not ideal. But I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to go Kentucky and hedge everything. Look, we're not trying to die here, guys. We're on 10,000 HP. We're not trying to die. I think these pines do look good for southern, but I just don't trust.
This might be my opportunity. We have Eastern White Pine. It's a great example of those bluish green needles too. Maybe this was taken in the wintertime because it's actually, yeah, I think it was because there's not a whole lot of green to work with, surprisingly. This could be tricky. I'm not sure if we're in New England or if we're around the Great Lakes. I might just kind of guess we're like in the Great Lakes region. I feel like northern Michigan might be. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was, man, I didn't think I'd be that close. Let's go.
Oh my days, what an insane guess. And it almost takes us out. I'm glad I didn't go more southern then. That was actually, I guess, red pines or jack pines. I think it was red pines, and he pulls an insane guess. And all of a sudden, we're on the back foot, so we're gonna have to lock in here. This reminds me of the Northeast, I think. Like, the undergrowth here is extremely dense. I think I'm gonna go for a quick New Hampshire, Vermont here. I think Vermont is my call. Yeah, I'm gonna go Vermont. But guys, this is a pivotal round because that was so much damage. And I feel like he's really good at the Northeast as well, so I'm not too confident. But look at that, we've got a rock wall. So maybe even now that I've seen that, I would adjust my guess down towards Massachusetts, Connecticut. But it is quite hilly, so I don't mind Vermont here at all. I would probably just send it further south.
Yeah, Oscar sent his guess already. Man, this is very lush. Yeah, whenever I see a forest like this, it looks like it's a lot of broadleaf trees, several different species. I think this is somewhere in the Appalachians. I'm going to go Central Appalachians here, around West Virginia. Oh my gosh, it was way up there. Great guess by Oscar. Is that enough? Oh, it's more than enough. GG's. Oh my gosh, good stuff to Oscar.
Oh, look at that. We called it correctly. It is a bit further south there, and that will be GG. Oh my goodness, we had some really close duels here, both times sub 1000 HP that went all the way. So yeah, this was a really good series. Let's go chat to Nebula. GG.
Dude, GG, man. That's an awesome guess.
Thank you so much. I just immediately vibed that those trees looked northeastern. Again, I can't really explain exactly why that is in a technical sense, but I just got that feeling immediately.
Dude, you got it. You got it, man. I was thinking I was just seeing all the like broadleaf trees. I was like, this looks central, like Central Appalachians to me. I was totally wrong, man.
How about that Michigan? That is one of the craziest guesses I've seen in a while.
Oh, dude. Okay, let me tell you about that. So I noticed that the shot was taken in the winter or like early spring, or maybe in the fall, because there was like no other green besides the pines and like a few spruce trees. So I saw there was eastern white pine everywhere, but I also noticed there was some like other conifer. I think it was maybe like a spruce or a fir, like a black white spruce or a balsam fir. But one of the northern spruce or fir trees was also in the mix. So that instantly made me think like, okay, so we're way up there near the Canadian border somewhere. It didn't look too hilly. I wasn't seeing like a bunch of like other like ferns and stuff on the ground. It seemed kind of flat, and all of that was kind of make me think Great Lakes area. And so I kind of just went northern Michigan because I think I have visited that area before, and I guess it could have been like vaguely reminding me of that trip. So that could have been part of it as well. So much back and forth.
Yeah, a great series. We had two duels go sub 1000 health from the other one. It was already a tight duel as well. So that was a really good series. If you want to see this again, guys, let us know. We have made a video over on GeoNebula's channel as well, so you can go check that out, linked in the description, as well as his Twitch, where he streams and explains plant stuff to do with Geoguessr. But Nebula, thank you so much for joining me today. And any last words for the people?
Yeah, just I'm GeoNebula on YouTube, Nebula Belt on Twitch. And yeah, if you're interested in plants and Geoguessr, come hang out.
Absolutely. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the video all the way to the end. And till next time, goodbye.